Don't watch this video. If you're happy with your current view counts, the revenue your pitching business is bringing, if your hooks are working, if people are staying on your videos all the way to the end, click off now. This video is not for you. But if you've tried every hook trick in the book and your audience is still clicking off in the first 5 seconds, stay with me, because what I'm about to show you is the opposite of everything you've been told about grabbing and monetizing attention online. Before we get into anything, I want to point something out. What you just experienced in the first 30 seconds of this video, that was the whole concept I'm about to teach you. Take a look back and you will notice I did not promise you the world. I didn't open with a crazy claim, and I did not try to stoke your fear to get you to keep watching. I did the exact opposite. I told you to leave, but my doing so got you to stay. That is what the anti-hook is. And the fact that you are still here right now is the most compelling proof I could ever give you that this thing works. So let's talk about what it actually is, why it works psychologically, and how we can apply it not just to your hooks, but to your thumbnails, your titles, and the entire structure of the videos, so you can increase your views, get more leads, and generate more revenue for your coaching business. Every piece of content advice you've received, and learned about YouTube books is built around one core assumption. You need to grab attention, and you need to grab it fast, and you need to grab it hard. And the best way to do that is make a big promise, say something shocking, create a pattern interrupt, or give a contrarian take to the well-accepted norm in the industry. Just do whatever it takes to stop the scroll and keep the viewer. And that advice isn't particularly wrong. It's just that everyone is following it. Everywhere you look, it's the same old story. It's the same style. Every creator on the platform has read and is using the exact same playbook, which means your viewer has seen every move in it, because you are playing with an open hand even before you know your own cards. Crazy claims, fear-based openings, countdown timers, they've seen it all, and they have developed immunity to it. And the psychology behind this is, when a viewer lands on your video, their brain is running a background process, which is a kind of automatic filter that has been trained by thousands of hours of watching content online. Their filter is scanning for manipulation, and it's continuously asking, is this person trying to trick me into watching? Are they over-promising on a deal? Is this video going to waste my time? And the more aggressively you try to hook someone, the louder that filter screams. The anti-hook works by doing something that filter has no defense against. It tells the truth. It lowers the stakes and says, I'm not here to sell you anything. I am just toughen. And the brain, which has braced for impact, suddenly relaxes. And the relaxed brain is a curious brain. And a curious brain keeps watching. The anti-hooked in your title. Most YouTube titles are written like newspaper headlines or ad copy. They are bold, they are urgent, and they are always packed with power words and numbers. Like these examples: 5 secrets to 10x your views in 30 days. The one hack that blew up my channel overnight. Why 99% of YouTubers fail and how to be the 1%. You've probably seen 1,000 of these kind of videos at this point. But so has your viewer. And the moment they see a title like that background filter in their brain kicks in and says, this is probably an exaggeration and it's probably not worth my time. An anti-hook title does something completely different. It is quieter and more specific and even more honest. It sounds like something a real person would say to another person in a conversation. Compare this. This is a standard title example that you find anywhere on YouTube. A secret hook formula that exploded my views, and this is the anti-hook version of that same title if I were to write it using an anti-hook style. So this will be the hook strategy nobody talks about because it looks like it shouldn't work. The anti-hook title doesn't promise the world. It promises something even more valuable. It promises the truth, and in a feed full of exaggeration, the truth tends to stand out. The key to writing an anti-hook title is to live with curiosity over promise. Don't tell the viewer what they will gain. Make them want to understand something they don't yet understand. The anti-hook. How to make the anti-hook fit in and work in a thumbnail. Thumbnails are arguably where the anti-hook philosophy is most underused, and also where it is most powerful. The standard thumbnail playbook looks like this: bright colors, high contrast, a shocked or exaggerated facial expression, big bold text that mirrors the title, arrows pointing at things, red circles, and all the other elements. All of this together to give maximum visual stimulation. And once again, this playbook isn't particularly one, but it works less and less every year because every creator is doing the same thing. Every creator is using it. When everything is loud, nothing becomes loud. The anti-hook thumbnail takes a different approach. It is simple. It is visually different from everything around it, precisely because it is not trying to be everything around it. Think about how a plain white thumbnail with a clean black text and a single neutral facial expression would look sitting next to 10 thumbnails that are all stunning at the viewer simultaneously. It would stand out completely. Some of the highest performing thumbnails from some of the most respected creators on the platform follow this exact principle. They look almost understated compared to what surrounds them, and that understatement is the pattern interrupt that they are going for. And it is the pattern interrupt the anti-hook expresses and represents. The anti-hook thumbnail principle, designed for contrast with your feed, not conformity to it. That is, make your thumbnail different from the norm in the industry or around from the videos surrounding it. If everyone around you is red and yellow and shocked, by shocked I mean the facial expression on the thumbnails, be white and calm and still. If everyone around you is minimal and clean, add one unexpected element that creates visual tension. The anti-hook and how to make it work in your script. This is where the anti-hook goes the deepest, and where most creators leave the most value on the table. Because most people think the hook is only the first 30 seconds. They think the viewer just needs to get through the hook and they can relax into the rest of the video. But the truth is, the entire script is a series of micro hooks. Every transition, every news section, every moment where the viewer could decide to click away is a hook that needs to keep them. And the anti-hook philosophy applies to every single one of those moments. Here's what conventional script structure looks like. It starts with a hook, which is a big promise at the top, which is the hook. It gives information delivered in order from the education all the way to the body. Then the summary at the end. Maybe it could include the city or something else, just to summarize the videos and end. This is the usual structure, and looking closely, you notice that this structure is linear and it is predictable. And predictable content is easy to click away from because the viewer always feels like they know what is coming next. It creates what I call, because they know what is coming next. And predictable content is easy to click away because the viewer always feels like they know what is coming next. The anti-hook script structure works differently, in the sense that it creates what I call productive tension. A sense that something is always just around the corner, and not just because you are being dramatic in your presentation or withholding information manipulatively, but because you are genuinely subverting viewers' expectations at key moments through the video. A few ways to do this in practice is: first, admit something counterintuitively early. Instead of doing whatever that person does, by building towards a big insight, why don't you drop that big insight early and spend the rest of the video proving it? For example, drop the main point at the beginning of the video, like I did in my hook. I started with the anti-hook. I started by applying the anti-hook to my hook itself. Then I'm using the rest of my video to explain the whole concept behind the psychology and the functioning of the anti-hook itself. So this reverses the expected structure and makes the viewer want to see how you defend the claim. 2. Slow down where other creators speed up. Most creators rush through parts they think are obvious. Creators come across the parts that are like, oh, this part is common knowledge, there's no need for me to touch it. Then they skip it and they move to something they think is more confusing or harder for their viewers to understand. Yeah, the anti-hook approach lingers here deliberately, because it is during these places that it is easy for viewers to make assumptions about the most common knowledge. Yet, the most obvious things are where your audience is most likely to have unexamined assumptions. They can have a belief or mix surrounding a common practice, a common knowledge, but it shouldn't be wrong. We should try to restructure the viewer's thinking, particularly in this area. When you you effectively grab their attention by telling them, oh, I know this is how you've been thinking about this particular thing, right? This is how you've been handling this particular thing, but it shouldn't be so. So it gets them stumped and they're like, okay, what do you mean? Do you mean I've been doing this wrong? That is what the anti-hook does. It challenges those assumptions the viewers know. This is what it does. The viewer stops. They want to know what they could have been doing wrong, what could be wrong with the assumptions of the week. So they stop. They want to watch. They stay, and they effectively increase your watch time and extend how long they stay on your video. So 3. Use silence and simplicity as emphasis. In a world of fast cuts and constant background music and motion graphics every 3 seconds, a moment of stillness in your video is itself an anti-hook. It makes the viewer lean in, it makes the viewer slow down, it makes them calm. 4. Lower your energy at key moments. When every creator raises their voice to signal importance, lowering your own does the same job effectively. The viewer subconsciously registers the shift and pays closer attention. The anti-hook script isn't about being boring or monotone. It is about being deliberate in delivery with information you are sharing. And it is about understanding that restraint applied at the right moment is more powerful than stimulation. So, let's do a quick recap. The anti-hook is not a trick. It is not a hack. And it is not something you sprinkle up onto a weak video and watch your views magically multiply. It is a philosophy rooted in one simple truth. Your viewer is smart. They have seen every move in the conventional content playbook. And the moment they feel like they are being played, they leave. The anti-hook respects the viewer's intelligence and says, I am not going to perform for you. I am just going to show you something that is completely real. And in a feed full of staged performances, realness is the most disruptive thing you can offer. Apply the anti-hook to your title, apply the anti-hook to your thumbnail, apply the anti-hook to your hook itself, apply the anti-hook to the way you structure every section of your script, and watch what happens when your content starts to feel fundamentally different from everything around it. That is how you turn into your views and grow your coaching revenue.